Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Box Office Talk. Thank you guys so much for the kind things you said in the comments section of the first Box Office Talk, and I'm proud to announce that Box Office Talk will be continuing for a very long time. So let's get right on into this video. Basically, if you don't know what Box Office Talk is, basically what happens is I break down what happened at the box office, I see if my predictions for the top 5 were correct, and I make my predictions for next week's top 5. So let's get on with it. If you forgot my predictions, they were that Sinister 2 would be number 1, number 2 would be Straight Outta Compton, number 3 would be Hitman Agent 47, number 4 would be Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, and that number 5 would be American Ultra. Now, just to put this out there, this is just the weekend estimates. So tomorrow on Monday when the official numbers come out, some of these might be entirely different, but I just want to get the series out on Sunday. Why? Forget about it. So let's get on with it. So, my predictions, how are they? Let's just say they were completely wrong! I got all of my predictions wrong. Number 1 was actually Straight Outta Compton for its second week in a row. I am very proud. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I really want to, and hopefully when I do see it eventually, I'll love it as much as everyone else is. This weekend it made $26 million with a total gross of $111 million. That is very impressive for this film, and I can't wait to see it when I can. Number 2 was actually Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. For the second week, it's been right behind Straight Outta Compton. This weekend it made $11 million, and thank God it finally made back its budget of $150 million, a total domestic gross of $157 million. I can't wait for more Mission Impossible movies. I'm glad this movie didn't bomb atrociously, like a couple of movies that I'm about to talk about. Now, number 3 was Sinister 2, my prediction for number 1. This weekend, it got its budget back of $10 million, like it actually made $10 million for this weekend, but the first Sinister on its opening weekend made $18 million, and that was on a budget of like $3 million. This movie is not going to do as well as the first Sinister, and I'm not just saying box office, I also mean critically. On Rotten Tomatoes, it is getting panned, which is very unfortunate because I'm a big fan of the first Sinister movie. I thought it was very good. So seeing that Sinister 2 isn't as good is just really disappointing. I had a lot of hopes from the trailer, but oh well. Hitman Agent 47, the reboot of the Hitman 2007 movie that I never saw, did even worse than that Hitman movie. And I don't mean critically because look on Rotten Tomatoes, but this weekend it only made $8 million. Like, the first film, it did terribly at the box office on its opening weekend. It only made $13 million. But this movie did even less. Like, wow. Like, it's like they made the same mistakes with the Hitman movies and no one's gonna bother with it. And I'm glad people are actually thinking like that. And number 5 was Man from U.N.C.L.E. I actually just saw this movie a couple hours ago and I thought it was a pretty decent movie. And this weekend it made $7 million. But it is still bombing, unfortunately. Its budget is $75 million. And with a total gross of $26 million, it's definitely not gonna get anywhere near 75 anytime soon. And there might not be any sequels because the ending of this movie does really show, like, hey, there might be some sequels, but now that the box office kind of sucks for it, they're like, never mind. Or they could just be like 20th Century Fox with Fantastic Four and say, hey, we're gonna make sequels anyways. Number 6 was American Ultra. It almost got in, but unfortunately it made $5 million this weekend. But the budget is only $12 million, so I have no doubt in my mind it's gonna get that much, maybe even more, as a domestic gross, so I'm not that upset about it. I haven't even seen the movie though, and I heard that it's a lot of fun. I want to see it soon. It looks very original and fresh, and it looks pretty good. Unfortunately, I did not see it, so you'll just have to wait to hear what I think about it. Now, this one actually very surprised me when I saw it. Number 7 was The Gift, which got higher this weekend. It made $4,300,000 this weekend, which is very impressive. I'm glad The Gift actually beat out a couple of these movies because The Gift is one of my favorite films of the whole year. I loved it very much. I'm glad more people are actually going out to see this movie. At number 8 was Ant-Man. It continues to grow with $4,088,000. Now, I'm very glad of this. Still, it's not as big as any of the other Marvel movies, but, you know, I'm glad people are still seeing it. I'm glad it made, like, over $160 million. I'm just glad people are actually giving it a chance, because it's actually surprisingly really good. At number 9, Minions. Those dang Minions continue to make even more money. Though it may have made $3,710,000 this weekend, do not be fooled. Its total gross is over $319 million. They're doing too good. And Finally, the film hopefully I will never have to talk about in any future box office talk video. Fant4 is almost out of the top 10 entirely this weekend and only made $3,650,000. And though the overall gross is $49 million, it's still not going to make its budget of $120 million back. It's just not gonna happen. Why they think they can do more Fantastic Four movies with these kind of numbers? I don't know. And finally, the predictions for next week. Now, there are only two movies that I think will actually be able to make the top 5, and those movies are We Are Your Friends and No Escape, so let's get on with the predictions. Number 1, I think We Are Your Friends will easily take the cake. I mean, Zac Efron, maybe. I don't know. Number 2, I think it might be Straight Outta Compton. Number 3, I think Rogue Nation will be able to stick it out even longer. Number 4, I think Sinister 2 might be able to stay up there. And at number 5, I think No Escape will just barely get in the top 5. Now, late August and early September are times where movies don't necessarily come out, like the big movies, you know? So maybe We Are Your Friends and No Escape will have a chance, but I'm not really sure. But what are your predictions for box office talk? And if you get them right, I will put them in this video. In fact, if there was anyone that got them right last week, then I'm going to put them right here when I'm talking right now. Unless there's no picture, then no one got it right. Whoops. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.